All right. So this is our second weekly Wednesday meetup from 2020. So I like doing these on Wednesdays. Hopefully this time frame will continue to work well for everyone. But I'm really excited that we get to hear from Heather, because a lot of our Grit and Grace Tribe coaches have seen her stats in our team page and probably assume that I've worked closely with her, and that's not really the truth. I've answered a lot of Heather's questions and stuff, but she's kind of just been a go-getter from the start. And so when I looked at Heather, I just recently creeped on your social media, and she's got around 350 friends on Facebook, a small following on Instagram. So comparatively, the stats she's putting up to her community of influence is amazing. And so I wanted to have her speak with us today, and I really think that it's because Heather leads with such genuine belief in what she's doing and belief in the company, but also with just honesty. So she's if you follow her on social media, you're very aware of what she's doing, but it's in a way that you can tell she just honestly believes so much in what it is that you just want to follow where she's going. So with that, Heather, I want to say thank you for agreeing to today's call. And can you just start with telling us your background with Beachbody before saying yes to coaching? What your experience was with the program.
Yeah, so I first started with Beachbody about 6.5 years ago. My daughter was about 6 months old, and I had been going to the gym a couple mornings a week when I could get a sitter, and I had pretty much stalled out. I was over 200 pounds and just really unhappy with the way I looked and how I felt. And so one night I was watching an infomercial and I saw the T25 one, and I thought, what the heck? I'm going to try this because what I'm doing right now isn't working. And so I ordered it, and when I got it, I started doing it alone in my basement in the morning, and I wasn't involved in any challenge groups. And so it was hard to get that motivation to keep going. But eventually I did get plugged in to a challenge group, and it just kind of took off from there. I ended up losing 70 pounds doing T25. And so I have been doing Beachbody programs ever since because clearly they work. So that's why I got started with that.
Okay, so, but there was a long period of time, 6.5 years ago, you lost 70 pounds with T25.
Yeah.
And then you only started coaching about 3 months ago. Well, we're going on 4. Yeah. So in that period of time, were you aware of the coaching opportunity? Was it something that interested you, or what was happening? Because you were obviously a raving fan of the products, but the business side you were not interested in.
Yeah, I wasn't interested at all. I had, I don't know, 5 coaches probably approached me over the years multiple times, trying to, because I would follow different coaches on social media, and I get involved and I like to comment, and then people would message me, but I would always say, no, I'm not really into that. I don't want to do that. And so I'd always shut them down. And then I would be the one always, my friends would come to me for advice, or, and I would send them towards Beachbody and all that, the programs and everything we have to offer, and then just answer their questions along the way and just push them to somebody else. So so finally I decided that I could see, so I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I've been since my daughter was born. And so we're coming up, so my son is got about another year after this until he'll start kindergarten. And so I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, of okay, so this stay-at-home mom thing is full-time is going to come to an end, and I need to either figure something out or suck it up and get a real full-time job, which I really don't have any desire to do any longer. I've been out of the game for so long, I don't want to. So I finally decided that I would say yes to coaching and give it a shot.
Yeah, so I was one of those 5 coaches who asked Heather about coaches. Heather was never my client, actually. She was never in my challenge group. She was not. We were connected on social media, and I thought, wow, this woman would be so great because she's obviously loving the programs, but she did shoot me down. And
Mhm.
Heather actually reached out to me when she was ready to start the business. I had not circled back to that conversation. And the only reason I'm adding that and plugging that in here is because Heather is a businesswoman who decided to do Beachbody for the business. And I think that when you can be a consistent coach and just keep showing up, that establishes credibility for business-minded people. And so, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you want to attract runners to your team, you have to be someone that they know is going to be there, like, consistently. Because I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, some of the other coaches you followed, Heather, fizzled out over time, or there was just a reason that you didn't make that choice. And for me in my life,
Right.
when I became a coach, I wanted it for the business too. And there was another girl who had invited me first. I ultimately chose my coach because I could just see like her consistency and what she was doing. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
And Trina says this all the time, your upline doesn't matter, and it doesn't, because I have not done anything. Like, Heather's success is all of her own. So even if you're plugged in with a team that's like, doesn't have a supportive upline, you can still succeed. But if you want to attract business builders, you have to behave like a business builder publicly. So I just wanted to say that really quickly about coaching, because it's hard. It's easy to get clients who want to be, on the coaching side of things just for the discount or for the community, but it's harder to find people who really want to run with the business side of things. And I think that the more you show that you are a businesswoman, business-minded people want to follow you. Okay, so Heather, you did say yes, and I wanted you to tell us about the mindset that you adopted surrounding your business as a new coach. Like, from day one, what kind of like mindset did you decide to run with?
So when I decide that I'm going to do something, I do it. I kind of go all in, and this is what I've decided, and this is what I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm not just going to like be wishy-washy about it, because then I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting other people's time. So when I first started, I really kind of took all the materials that were presented to me and kind of internalize them. So I really listened to what Ashley had to say. I checked out her content. I checked out our Facebook page under like the files and what the way she invites people, and I asked a lot of questions. So I really like to take things like, okay, so I'm doing this. So what can I do to figure stuff out myself? Who can I ask to figure stuff out that I don't understand? And kind of what resources do I already have, so that I'm not, constantly asking somebody for something that is right at my fingertips already anyways. So I really just kind of take something and go and use my kind of resources that way.
Yeah, no, resourcefulness is like the hallmark of every coach who builds quickly. And it's just, I remember thinking the same thing. Like, I knew my sponsor, Tracy, would get back to me, but I also knew I could find the answer quicker than I could wait for her to reply. So it's kind of just,
Right.
yeah, what do I need, and going for it. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And you also said to me the other day when we were talking about how you are like organized. And in my own experience with team building, people seem to be more successful who maybe have a part-time job or a day job, or were like previously working, just because they're used to organizing their time. Usually people assume stay-at-home moms have all this time, so they're going to be the most successful, but busy people get more done. I think that's always like what's rang true in my own business. And you had told me that you used to be super organized for your other jobs. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So even going back to, so I have a master's degree in school counseling. So like when I was in grad school, my last semester alone, I was writing my thesis. I worked 40 hours a week at a job I was getting paid to work at. And I worked 40 hours a week in the schools at a job I was paying to do. Plus I had a social life and a boyfriend and all that stuff. So if I didn't plan, like, I would have been completely lost. So that really kind of kept transitioning into every like position that I have in life in general. Like I write to-do lists, I block out time on my schedule. My last job before I became a stay-at-home mom was something called a college access advisor. So I worked from home, and so there was 6 or 7 of us throughout the state of Wisconsin that would travel to area high schools in our region and talk about college prep stuff. I had 30 schools. So I had the biggest territory because I lived where the little boondock towns are. And so if I was going to keep 30 high schools straight, to be able to travel to all those schools and help those kids, I needed to be organized. And so I kind of figured out just the way that I organize best, and I still like use that kind of organization to this day, because I know that if I can be organized and know what my steps of being successful are, that I can function. I can keep moving along and keep moving forward, instead of just being like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to go. Like I have a plan. Yeah. So I really try to plan for stuff, everything. My husband drives him crazy.
No, my strength in business is that I get stuff done if I say I'm gonna do it, but my weakness is that I am totally type B, and like my way of getting stuff done, my husband calls it like the shotgun method. I just spray everywhere and like figure it out. So like just the other day, Monday, I sat down and I had such a productive hour of work. I got so much done, and I was like, what did I do different that day? I sat down with a list. Like I knew exactly what I was gonna do when I sat down at the computer, rather than I'm just going to hop on and see what's in my messages, and then what's in the team page, and what's over here. So I guess with like somebody like me, what would be your piece of advice for someone who isn't a very organized planner, but knows that they need to do that to be more successful in business? Like what's the top 2 things you do to stay on top of things?
I would just start like towards in the evening, I try to write a list of, okay, what do I need to accomplish tomorrow? So what are my top things that I need to do? And a lot of things, what I like to put on my list is like, I don't know if you've ever done like a power hour with Ashley or with somebody else. So I write those kinds of things down, and like a 10-minute blocks. And then I know that's what I have to do. But I also, when it comes to being organized and like pushing my business forward, I like to have a list of the next people I'm going to contact, so that the next day I can send out those invites quickly and I don't overthink things. So that's a huge thing, is like, I can talk myself out of anything if I let myself talk myself out of it. But how can I get stuff done with like out thinking and without thinking, but without over analyzing what I'm doing. So that's how I set myself up the night before with, what do I need to do the next day? And who do I want to invite the next day?
Okay, can we pause there for a second? How do you come up with that list of who you're going to invite the next day?
So when I first started coaching, so when I first came out, did my coming out post, I first started with those people that had liked or commented on that. So, you know, I right away, those are people that you got invites right away, and not like 3 to 5 at a time, like everybody within the first day. And then after that, what I did to kind of take away the thinking aspect of it was I just went on my friends list on Facebook, and I wrote a list of people, everybody that was on there. And then then every day I contacted the top 3 to 5 people, and I just crossed them off and went down the list. So I tried not to overanalyze who I'm messaging. I want to think about the fact that I don't know where they are in life. So I don't know anything about what's going on with them. So right now might be a good time. Right now might not be a good time. I don't know. So I will ask. So that's really how I started. And so now that I'm through my Facebook list, what I like to do is I will, message people who watch my stories, message people who like my posts. If I have new followers or people that I'm chatting with on Instagram, people who watch my stories on Instagram. And then I will also go, if I have like a day where I'm like, oh, okay, so I messaged all these people already recently, I'll also go back and look at like my Facebook Messenger and like scroll way down to see who's down on the bottom of the list that I haven't talked to in a long time. And so then I will reach out to some of those people again.
So Facebook Messenger is your follow-up list. The
Yeah.
bottom of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly tried to do like a organizational list and everything. And it was honestly too much for me to do organized wise. So that's how I kind of do it.
Oh, okay. And you don't have to have an answer to this or even the right answer, but you mentioned inviting everybody on your Facebook list. So I know like for new coaches who watch this, they're going to be like, I've gotten to the point where I've gone through everybody I know and invited them already. So as you are growing, because you're still a new coach, how are you reaching new people? Like what are you personally doing to kind of grow your network of friends that's working for you?
So like with my challenges, so I have a bar blend group right now that I'm running, and then I also have like an online wellness studio. And so with those, I'll do like a recognition post. So like today I posted about Sabrina who has had tons of trouble with consistency in the past. I kind of recognized her for getting all of her bar blend workouts in so far. And so with that, then I look at, okay, who liked that post, who commented on that post, because I also tagged her in that. And so then I will kind of reach out to those people. I'll also ask for people to like share on their walls about their journeys, and then tag me in it so that I can see it and that I can reach out to those people that like and comment on those as well. So that helps. I also now have people in my challenge groups and in saying that, hey, I have this friend. And so then they're sending me those friends. And so it's just kind of like growing that way. So it's not, and it's hard too, because when you're reaching out to those likes, when you're reaching out to the people that comment, they don't necessarily see it because of the way that Facebook Messenger is. But I have gotten responses from them. So it's worth a shot. And that's why I always think of it. If they don't see it, then they don't see it, but you never know.
So yeah, asking for referrals.
Yeah.
And I'm not like Heather, because you approach your business like a business, your challenge groups. I mean, people have fun referring their friends because they're getting results and they know that it's something that their friends are going to enjoy too.
Right.
So you're talking about like giving recognition and inviting daily and growing your list. So if you guys are listening, like Heather just sleeps and breathes the vital behaviors. And she reminds me a lot of Melanie Mitro, because when you go follow Melanie on social media, she's a Beachbody coach. In her story, she's doing her workouts every single day. She's giving people recognition, like she's following the blueprint of the vital behaviors. And Heather is very much the same in her approach to her business, which I think is really cool because we all have the same roadmap in the vital behaviors or in your tracker, which means we all have the same potential for success. Okay, so the vital behaviors, yes, okay, that's what in recognition. Okay, so you are very organized. Oh, I know what I wanted to add. I asked Heather, like before she was going to be on our team call the other day, I asked her, I was like, so what do you think like gives you an edge? What do you do on the days that you just don't feel like doing any of this? And this is why she reminds me a lot of Melanie Mitro. She's like, well, I just do it. Like I don't have an option. I can't go to sleep at night if I know that something was on my list and I didn't get it done. So it's really that whole mindset of like being a successful coach there's no secret to it. It's 100% your mindset about your business. And like Heather can't go to bed at night because she knows that she could have done better, or she could have finished that task, or she didn't have to watch, I don't know, we're watching Stranger Things right now, so I'll use that as an example. Like it bothers her as an individual if she's falling short on her goals that she set for herself. It's not really competing with other people. It's like, I know I could do this, so I should be doing it. Okay, so you are organized, you're doing the vitals. What does a day in your life look like? So walk us through like Heather's Power Hour, Heather's day as a coach, as a new coach. What are you doing?
Okay. I know she was. Sorry. My daughter just goes, she's talking about you. So I get up at about 5 a.m. every day. because that's when I work out. So like that's always been my thing, even before I became a coach. So that way I can get my workout in. That is like a non-negotiable for me. If I don't work out on a day that I am planning to work out, it's not really good for me. I'm really crabby. So I need to get that in. And so then lately what I've been doing then is I get my workout in, and then before I work out, I don't turn on any social media. So phone stays on airplane mode. I don't get distracted. I just do my thing. And so then after I'm done with my workout, I like to turn on all that stuff and get my kind of workout video done for the day and post that on my stories. And then I will check like my messages that I got overnight and respond to those. And so also in the morning, I also like to kind of figure out, okay, look at my Instagram insights and see, okay, when is the best time for me to post today? Mm-hmm. And then come up with what I'm going to post about, so that whenever it is time to post, it's just automatic and I kind of do it real quick.
Right.
And so then I go about my morning of getting the kids ready for school and everything like that. And so we drop my daughter off at school. My son's home with me most of the time. And then around lunchtime, I get in kind of like a power hour of work, because he likes to eat his lunch in front of the TV watching a show. It's kind of his thing he asks for every single day. So then I will sit down and again look at, I will interact with my challenge group at that time, like, comment on everybody's like workout pictures and add information to the group, do some kind of a post to the group for the day. Also, I will respond to any messages that way. And then I like to do like Facebook and Instagram stuff at that time too, or like I'm commenting on other people's posts. I'm kind of following new people and kind of use that as an hour that I can really just dive in and get stuff done and get my invites out for the day. And then that way, if later in the day after like the kids go to bed, I don't have any more time, I'm still got my invites, I still interacted on Facebook and did my challenge group stuff, because those are like my big ones that I want to get done for the day.
Yeah, and those are your income producing activities right there. So it's about an hour at lunchtime, and then in the morning, would you say like after your workout, that's about an hour or two, or a little bit less?
Probably like half an hour. At about 6:30, I got to head upstairs to shower.
Okay, so you have 90 minutes of non-negotiable business time. And then if, I like how you said after the kids go to bed, if time allows you'll work, but if not, you've got things done, because you're married. Everybody has a life outside of coaching. Like you don't always want to have, your night hours either. So I love that you said that, because in less than 2 hours a day, you're really just like rocking the vitals and getting it done and then closing it off for family. Of course, I'm sure there's days you work more than 2 hours.
Yeah, it happens. I'm like, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, exactly. Like the beginning of the month, Brandon knows if like we're leading into the start of a month, I'm going to be working more than like the middle of the month. But okay, so Success Club, you've hit some amazing stats. You were Success Club 18 in December. January, I just looked, you already have 16 points for January. November, I don't remember what you had. More than 10.
I think it was only 6 in November, maybe. And then the first month it was like 12 or something.
Yes. So you are crazy points. Do you have an invite you can show us, or like walk through what your invitation looks like to a challenge, even if it's like bar blend, because I know you've got a lot of bar blenders, and then what your follow-up process is?
Let's see. I have you on my iPhone, so I can't like share my screen. But so when it came to bar blend, what did I do? Let me see if I can. So this is what I did for bar blend. It said, and so when I send out an invite to, I like to use the person's first name. And then I also just like to start out with like how's blah, 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 or, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Or that's just me, like with life. If I write anybody a message, like cold, I will do that.
You're not saying, hey girl.
Yeah. So, hey, Annabella, I was thinking about you and want to send you an invite for you to check out our new workout program I'm super excited about. It's low impact, high intensity, and best of all, you can do it right from your living room for 30 to 40 minutes a day. It's a huge time saver. And I've got an awesome new group going that will focus just on that program. Does this sound something that's up your alley? So I would just zip that out. And so I would get a lot. Bar Blend has been huge for me. I decided to do my own challenge group, and I was hoping to get maybe 5 people in that group, and I have 15 in there. And I have people that aren't even on that group that are not even on Facebook or anything doing that program as well. So yeah, it's been a huge, huge program.
How are you staying in touch with the people who don't have Facebook?
So I text them. Okay. Yeah, so I text them every few days if I don't hear from them. I had one lady after the first workout say, I was at work today and somebody said, wow, have you lost weight? She's like, this program is amazing. Ha ha ha. I'm like, see, I told you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. And you were for Bar Blend. I saw you on social media, letting people know how many spots you had left. And that worked really well for me too. And Heather actually asked me, so if this comes up for you guys, if you say you have 5 spots and they're all full, do you turn people away? I kind of think of it as not necessarily a number cap, but I'm looking to fill 5 spots, at least. So there's 1 more left. And then of course you're not going to turn people away. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't believe in that, but advertising those spaces as spaces that you want to get filled up. Okay, so you have 16 Success Club points. That means 8 people said yes to you so far in January. How many people do you think said no or didn't reply at all?
A lot. Yeah, so especially now that I'm focusing more on sending out coaching invites. And so you get a lot less responses back. But so yeah, I mean I get responses back from people just saying they're not interested or thanks for thinking about me, though quite often. But I get a lot of no's, and I get not as many just no responses at all. But I do get a lot of no's and a lot of thanks for thinking about me kind of responses as well. So
okay, so what do you?
I invite 3 to 5 people a day. So
3 to 5 invites a day. Okay. So when you get a no, what do you say back to someone?
So I was watching this or listening to this podcast that really kind of something that I do is it's when you get a no, it's fine. Treat it with grace and move on. Right. And so I say, if they're already doing something, already working on a program, and I said, oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy that you have a routine that you really love. If you ever feel like you want to switch anything up, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I hope you have an awesome day. And then I will check back in with them in the future as well. But I just decided to say a nice little thing about something about them or follow up to what they said and leave the door open in the future and tell them, have a good day.
Good. Yeah, because one of the things I often hear from new coaches is they'll text me feeling frustrated or just disappointed that they were getting a lot of no's, but I knew you had to have heard no a couple hundred times to have that message, right. But I'd never heard you feel deflated about it. So what podcast is that you like listening to?
I listen to the Mommy Millionaire podcast religiously. I tried to do a couple of others and I just didn't like them as much. And honestly, taking the time to read a book for me it's not going to happen. So I listen to a podcast every morning, or part of the podcast every morning when I'm getting ready, when I'm doing my makeup and my hair. That's when I listen to the podcast.
I love that podcast, and you guys can all join. Mommy Millionaire has a mastermind on Facebook, so I pay $37 a month to be part of this Mommy Millionaire mastermind where Kayla Craft, she'll do live coaching, so she'll live coach you. she goes live several times weekly. So it's like the next step above the podcast. And I mean, if you don't want to pay $37 a month, just start with the podcast because that's free. But like if you were looking for something next level with a little bit more business mentorship, she has a Facebook group. It's called the Millionaires Society, and it's a $37 a month membership, but there's a lot of value there. Anyway, so quick mommy millionaire plug that I get nothing for, but I do love her as a business coach.
She has so many good professionals on. I just love listening to like where they came from and what they're doing.
I know. And like when you have a question, like, you know, how you should feel about hearing no over and over, there's always the simplest answer. That's usually like, it's really not about you. So get over yourself and just keep working your business.
But I always want to say like something in response because I don't want him to think that I'm like, well, fine. And just leaving him, you know, like being crabby about it. But yeah.
I think that's smart because you had to have told me no when I asked you about coaching, and I even knew you were working in someone else's challenge group at the time, and I was never like, delete Heather off my friends list.
Right.
Don't talk to Heather. Like, you leave that door open because you never know what can come of it.
Right.
All right. So you've had a lot of accolades very quickly. How's the TENS going? You started that test group?
Oh, 10 rounds. Yes. I started it on Monday. I was like, what
are the workouts like? Are they great?
Yeah, I've definitely been sore this week in all the right places, but it's been it's been really good. It's kind of just weird to switch it up and have like a program like that. I wasn't planning on switching it. I was really excited for Bar Blend, but I'm really enjoying the program, and it's cool to be in the group.
How does that work? So are you like checking in with Joel Freeman in like another Facebook group type of thing?
Yeah, so it's all in a Facebook group, and he'll do like some live stuff eventually, but he'll post in there and he'll comment on our stuff, and so it's all every day. Everybody's posting. It's kind of like a huge challenge group that the trainer's actually in.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
All right. So we'll wrap up the call with what is your next like big hairy goal for 2020? I know you've already hit Emerald, great successful points. What do you want to accomplish next this year with your business?
So I was curious the other day, and so I watched the training for like Road to Elite, because I hear all these terms, especially after a super weekend, that people are getting these awards from. Like, I don't even know what that is. What is that? So I watched that video, which was really helpful. And so it's my goal, I wrote down, to like be a team leader. I want to be a 1-star diamond with 2 personally sponsored coaches that are emerald below me by the end of the year. And then I also hopefully will be able to go on the Riviera Maya trip next year, and I would like to have that paid for.
Awesome. There's like this fly in my office. I think you're going to end the year beyond team leader. That'd be amazing. I'm speaking. But okay, so if you guys listened and took away anything, Heather said she's up at 5 a.m. doing her workout no matter what. She's inviting 3 to 5 people a day. She's spending an hour like commenting to people on Facebook, inviting people from her friends list, following up. She's doing the tracker every day. That's basically what she's doing. She's doing the tracker every single day without fail, and like with the mindset that, it's success is going to happen. It's not really if or when. It's just like, I'm doing this and I'm going to do all the vitals. So I think that really is the secret sauce. And in my business, it's always been the same way, like just every single day doing the vital behaviors, and that grows. It's not like you don't have frustrating seasons or people say no to you or coaches quit, but like if you just keep doing the vitals every single day, like that compounds this momentum that you can't be stopped. So a lot of coaches get started, then their sister or their cousin says something negative, and their husband says something negative, and one customer, returns their challenge pack or whatever happens, and they haven't generated enough momentum over time or consistency or belief in themselves to keep going. They let something small like a return just throw them off the rails. But when you are really diligent about doing your vital behaviors and showing up with this mindset of, I'm going to get this done even when I don't feel like it, that creates a momentum for your train that you can't just throw it off the tracks. It's like there no matter what through every season. That's definitely been my story with coaching. And I know that's yours too, Heather. And I'm like so proud of you. It's amazing to see you just like work.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, do you guys have any questions for Heather before we end the meeting? Like any questions for Heather or any questions in general about just coaching or the week or what's coming up? Okay. Speaking of trackers, I want to plug again, tomorrow on our team page, we'll start the Diamond Daily, which is essentially your Beachbody business track. So if you felt like you're not really engaged in your business the way you should be, then this is what you should be doing to re-engage. So yeah, that's that. Samantha, Nikita, any questions or anything to add? No? Is everyone going to listen to a Mommy Millionaire episode today? I'm planning a team retreat for the spring and I want her to be our guest. Like I feel like I have enough pull with her to get her to come because she's only 3 hours from me.
That'd be amazing.
Especially if we did it in California. I know. No.
Sounds perfect.
Cool. Well, everyone have a great day. Thank you for jumping on. I will upload the recording right now because Leo's asleep. And have a fun vacation. I hope no flu for anyone.
I don't know. My daughter threw up during our call, so.
Oh my God! And you just still kept going. See?
There's that.
Okay, wait. We got to get.
I don't know that now.
Oh shoot! All right, everyone say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Love it. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for getting on today.
Bye.